Hi folks, welcome back to Chalk and Smile. In today's video, we will be looking into 5 of the most important questions with regards to Hamlet. Number 1. Is the ghost in Hamlet real? The presence of the ghost in Hamlet holds significant narrative importance. It discloses the details of the king's murder to Hamlet and urges him to seek vengeance. The ghost in Hamlet serves to create a suspenseful atmosphere, introduce an element of unpredictability, and spark the central conflict in the play. Prior to the appearance of the ghost, Horatio and the guards described the deceased king as a virtuous and courageous leader. There is a debate among them about whether it's genuinely the soul of the king or something darker attempting to manipulate Hamlet. If indeed the ghost is their king, its manifestation is seen as an indication that the former king's soul is in a state of unrest. When the ghost materializes, it is fully armored, a detail that Hamlet interprets as a sign of his father's preparation for a spiritual battle. Like Horatio's description of the king's personality, the ghost is pragmatic and precise in delivering its message of revenge. It chooses to speak only to Hamlet, ensuring they are alone before engaging in conversation. The ghost urges Hamlet to heed to its message, emphasizing the gravity of its demise and urging Hamlet to seek vengeance. Following Hamlet's agreement, the ghost reveals that Claudius poisoned him to usurp the throne and marry Queen Gertrude. Despite initially presenting the essentials of its plea for vengeance, the ghost begins to display emotional and performative qualities, mirroring those found in Hamlet. While instructing Hamlet to seek revenge for political justice, the ghost also conveys a deep human sense of personal pain at his brother's betrayal. Although Hamlet is primarily motivated by personal justice, the ghost is mindful of both political and personal motives. The ghost reappears one final time after Hamlet accidentally kills Polonius and becomes enraged at Gertrude. Whether weakened or choosing not to make itself known to Gertrude, the ghost intervenes to remind Hamlet of his primary goal. The ghost desires only for Hamlet to kill Claudius, expressing anger towards Gertrude, but ultimately wanting reconciliation between Hamlet and his mother. While the ghost propels the play's plot, questions arises about its true identity. Horatio and the guards believe it resembles the king, and Hamlet himself seriously considers the ghost's authenticity. Claudius later confirms the ghost's claim to regicide, validating its truthfulness. However, as Hamlet is a sole character to converse with the ghost and Gertrude cannot perceive it, doubts persist. Hamlet even contemplates the possibility of the ghost being a devil attempting to deceive him. Ultimately, the text intentionally leaves the true identity of the ghost ambiguous, leaving room for interpretation. It might be King Hamlet or something more sinister, sparkling discord in Denmark. Whatever it may, the ghost's appearance turns out as one of the most important twists in the plot and paves the way for the rest of the story. Now let's look at the second question. Did Gertrude have an affair with Claudius before he killed Hamlet's father? The play doesn't explicitly confirm whether Gertrude and Claudius had an affair prior to King Hamlet's death. However, there are several hints and ambiguities that contribute to the speculation surrounding their relationship. Firstly, the speed with which Gertrude marries Claudius after King's death raises suspicions. It's notable that Claudius becomes the new king of Denmark shortly after the old king's demise, and Gertrude's marriage to Claudius follows almost immediately. This swift transition suggests that Claudius may have had an ambition for the throne and that his relationship with Gertrude could have been a factor in his desire to seize power. Additionally, Hamlet's reaction to his mother's marriage fuels the suspicion of an affair. He expresses deep disillusionment and disgust at Gertrude's hasty remarriage, implying that he perceives her actions as morally questionable. Hamlet's vehement reaction, coupled with his contemplations about the nature of his mother's relationship with Claudius, adds weight to the idea that there may have been something more than mere political convenience behind their union. Furthermore, the ghost of King Hamlet hints at the possibility of foul play in his death, accusing Claudius of murdering him by pouring poison into his ear while he was asleep. This accusation implies a deeper betrayal beyond Claudius seizing the throne and marrying Gertrude for political gain. It suggests that Claudius's actions were motivated by personal ambition and potentially a desire for Gertrude. However, the nature of Gertrude and Claudius's relationship before King Hamlet's death remains ambiguous, allowing for various readings and interpretations of their characters' motivations and dynamics. Now, the third question of today's video is, why doesn't Hamlet kill Claudius right away? Hamlet's hesitation to kill Claudius immediately stems from several factors. Firstly, Hamlet struggles with doubt regarding the accuracy of the ghost's claim about Claudius's guilt. Although the ghost provides compelling evidence of Claudius's treachery, including the revelation of the murder method, Hamlet is cautious and seeks further confirmation before taking drastic action. This doubt leads him to devise the plan to catch the conscience of the king by staging a play that mirrors the circumstances of King Hamlet's murder, hoping Claudius's reaction will confirm his guilt beyond any doubt. Secondly, Hamlet faces a profound moral dilemma. While driven by a sense of duty to avenge his father's death, he is troubled by the ethical implications of committing murder. Hamlet is a deeply introspective character, prone to philosophical contemplation and moral introspection. He questions the morality of revenge, pondering the consequences it may have on his own soul and the moral fabric of the society. Thirdly, Hamlet's fear of divine retribution influences his decision making process. When he discovers Claudius praying alone, he refrains from killing Claudius, fearing that Claudius's soul might be sent to heaven. Hamlet desires not only to punish Claudius but also to ensure his eternal damnation for the sins he has committed, thus delaying his vengeance until a more appropriate moment. Furthermore, Hamlet considers the political ramification of his actions. Claudius is not only just his uncle, but also the king of Denmark. Hamlet recognizes that killing Claudius impulsively could plunge the kingdom into further turmoil and potentially destabilize the political order. He seeks to bide his time and strategize his approach to minimize the collateral damage and ensure a more favorable outcome. Hamlet's psychological complexity also contributes to his indecision and procrastination. He is a character plagued by melancholy, existential doubt, and a profound sense of disillusionment with the world around him. His internal conflicts and psychological torments paralyze him, making it challenging for him to act decisively in the face of adversity. The next question is, why does Ophelia go mad? Ophelia's descent into madness is a complex and tragic progression, influenced by a combination of personal, familial, and societal factors. Firstly, Ophelia's madness is deeply intertwined with her relationship with Hamlet. As the daughter of Polonius, Ophelia becomes entangled in the political machineries of the court. Initially, she is romantically involved with Hamlet, but their relationship faces significant obstacles. Hamlet's erratic behavior, stemming from his own internal conflicts and his madness as a part of his revenge plot against Claudius, confuses and distresses Ophelia. Hamlet's harsh rejection of her, coupled with his cruel and misogynistic remarks during their interactions profoundly impacts Ophelia's emotional state. The collapse of their relationship contributes to Ophelia's sense of isolation, abandonment, and vulnerability. Ophelia's madness also originates from the loss of her father, Polonius. When Hamlet mistakenly kills Polonius while he is eavesdropping behind a curtain, Ophelia is left traumatized. Polonius's demise not only shatters Ophelia's familial bonds but also robs her of her sense of security and stability. The profound grief and confusion surrounding her father's death further destabilizes her fragile mental state and quickens her descent into madness. Moreover, Ophelia's madness is shaped by the societal constraints and expectations placed on young women in the patriarchal society as well. Ophelia is subjected to the control and manipulation of the male figures in her life, including her father and brother. As a woman in such a male dominant society, she lacks agency and autonomy, leading to the feeling of powerlessness and despair. Her madness can be interpreted as a form of rebellion against the oppressive social norm and expectations that confined her. Additionally, Ophelia's madness is depicted through her symbolic actions and fragmented speech in the play. She sings cryptic songs and distributes flowers with symbolic meanings, reflecting her fractured psyche and disconnection from reality. Her madness serves as a poignant commentary on the marginalization of women in Shakespearean society, highlighting the devastating consequences of emotional repression and societal oppression. And now we move to the last question. Does Ophelia actually kill herself? In Hamlet, Ophelia's death is not explicitly depicted on stage, leaving some ambiguity surrounding the circumstances of her demise. However, it is strongly implied that Ophelia's death is a result of drowning, likely by suicide. In Act 4, Scene 7, Queen Gertrude reports Ophelia's death to King Claudius, describing how she fell into a brook while gathering flowers and eventually drowned. Although Gertrude's account does not definitively confirm suicide, her description, along with Ophelia's previous distressed and erratic behavior, suggests that Ophelia's death may have been intentional rather than accidental. Even before that, in Act 4, Scene 5, Ophelia is seen singing cryptic songs and giving away flowers, hinting at her troubled state of mind, foreshadowing her tragic fate. Ophelia's madness, triggered by the loss of her father and the betrayal by Hamlet, culminates in her tragic demise, whether accidental or intentional. Though not depicted in the play, the prevailing understanding is that Ophelia's death is likely a suicide, a poignant reflection of the psychological toll of grief, betrayal, and societal constraints depicted throughout the play. With this, we come to the end of this video. Please let us know if you want us to make videos on other important questions, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.